Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is FiveXFive and I'm Simo. If you're new to the channel, you can support the channel by clicking like and subscribe, don't forget. And we're back to talk more geek culture. I did a Joker review a couple weeks ago. It was long and boring, just like the movie. I might have been, projecting some of the same energy from the movie. So we're revisiting the topic of the Joker because Saturday Night Live did a skit that kind of called out the Joker and dunked on the Joker a bit. So I wanted to do a quick and dirty review of that skit because I feel like it kind of tied in well with my review. I guess what I want to say, honestly, it's the worst. It's dunking on the Joker and sort of trying to write the Joker off as this incel movie and put its popularity off to, having a cult following of incels and angry white dudes. It's a thing. It's kind of interesting because it's a talking point from a certain segment of the left. I am kind of hesitant to even frame it that way though. Yes, it's a certain segment of the left, but they're not the real left. Literally, the movie hadn't even come out yet and it was already being critiqued by these same sort of I don't want to call them social justice warriors because I don't think it's a really great term at all. I think social justice warriors are awesome. Thank you. Suck on that. So I don't want to call them social justice warriors, but I think there's a real problem with certain people who identify as being on the left who really only have a superficial understanding of liberal policy and liberal issues and left-leaning issues. And you can't do these issues justice by just checking off on a checklist. It's, issues are not like a grocery list, right? So you can't be like, oh, white guy this, check, violence this, check, voila, you have white male rage, right? It's this particular group of people, they come at certain social issues from a very shallow depth of field and a very shallow understanding of social issues. I think the best way of describing them rather than social justice warriors would be to call them neoliberal activists or white feminists, because that is the best way to describe this certain segment of the population that feels very entrenched in their ideology and their belief of social issues without having a grasp of the larger social issues around them. And that lack of understanding of big picture, it's what forms their critique and generates their ire, basically, when they come after people or movies or media or whatever it is they're coming after. They're usually coming out after it from a very shallow depth of field. So I wanted to say that right off the top. The next thing I wanted to say is that the Saturday Night Live sketch itself is really stupid. So combine that with kind of being informed on social issues from a really shallow perspective. It's not a winning combination, right? So this little clip, it was shallowly entertaining. It was pretty stupid. I laughed because it was really, it's not good. Let's be real. Saturday Night Live was super popular and relevant when I was a little kid, and the only people that ever watched it then were people that were home on a Saturday night. And we all get old and we all eventually start taking Saturday nights to ourselves. I'm one of them. But, with TV on the decline and your broadcast legacy TV on the decline, shows like Saturday Night Live are really not that relevant. And even though they showcase modern and contemporary and relatively current talent, it's still being produced by the same sort of big business interests, which explains why it has a shallow depth of understanding for relevant social issues that are happening right now. And that kind of takes us back into the Joker. If Saturday Night Live and the people that were creating the skit, like the comedians, the writers, if they looked at that movie and legitimately felt that it was a movie about white male rage, I have a hard time believing First of all, I have a hard time believing that an entire writer's room full of professionals that have been in the industry for years are that stupid. I don't think anybody, especially writers, they tend to be really bright, aware people. I have a hard time believing that a room full of writers, professional writers in New York, are unattuned to what's going on in the world around them and in the country around them, and social issues in general, to such an extent that they would distill the entire Joker movie into like a shallow movie about white male rage. So that said, I'm inclined to think that it was just a really stupid jab, and I think if anything, the skit is more like it's baiting and it's trolling. It's a troll skit, you know, designed to create controversy and generate interest for the show because, like I said, Saturday Night Live is not the most relevant show anymore. So if I were to guess, that's my take on it. I really think that anybody who's discussing the Saturday Night Live skit and talking about it from the perspective of, oh, you know, this is awful and whatever, I don't think they should take it seriously at all, because I doubt that even the writers take it seriously. I don't think they believe that the movie's about that at all. They're just taking jabs at the fact that they know some people will get triggered by that, and well, that's basically what happened. So they weren't wrong, right? If you're talking about the Joker and you're talking about the Saturday Night Live skit and it's on your mind and you're sort of getting angry about it, don't let yourself. Don't consume the media. Don't click. Don't like. Don't retweet any of this media. Just don't even give it press. Like I think it's fair to say at this point we should be moving away from clickbaity media. Consume what is legitimately good and what you legitimately enjoy, and don't give any time to the stuff that you don't. Just starve it completely, because if you don't do that, you keep it afloat and you keep it alive by giving it press, by giving it media, by giving it advertisement, free advertisement, and word of mouth. Right? So keep that in mind when you're talking about the movie. Obviously, I had a different take on the Joker, so that informs my perspective on the movie, and that leads me to disagree with the context of and the pretext of that leads me to disagree with the pretext of the Saturday Night Live skit. So obviously, if you watch the Joker and you have any sort of sense of social awareness or ability to zoom out and have an idea of the big picture around you, you can't possibly see all of the systemic issues that movie showcases and turn that movie into a movie about white male rage. So yeah, don't buy into it. Don't let anybody bait you. And if that's the movie you enjoy, I mean, it's not a fun movie, like I said in my review. It's not a fun movie to me. But if you enjoyed the movie and you thought it was worth it, then just ignore. I mean, really, Saturday Night Live, who are they? Just ignore the haters. Saturday Night Live is just becoming the haters at that point, right? So they're just trying to stay relevant. Don't let them. Don't let it get to you guys. That's all I had to say for now. I'll be back with some more videos pretty soon, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. As always, if you want to support the channel, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and click the bell to turn on notifications so you find out when there's a new video uploaded. Thanks. I'll see everyone soon. Take care.